Okay, well today I'm joined by Paul Millar of KPM Financial, and I'm delighted to find out a little bit about Paul and his practice. So Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself and KPM Financial.
Okay, thanks Adrian. A little bit about the business. We started about, it might be 10 years on the 1st of May this year. It's our 10th anniversary. Both Kevin and I originally are from bank sales background, Lloyds TSB. In fact, most of our staff are ex-Lloyds TSB. We predominantly work with the SME market now, so owner-managers of their own businesses, mainly tax planning, pension planning and directors' protection effectively, is where the majority of our business is now.
You mentioned that you do quite a lot of work in the pensions arena. What percentage of your business would you say is in pension work?
I would say about 65 to 70% of it is pensions work, in one form or other.
Okay. And do you do much in the area of pension transfer?
Yes, we have done in the past. It's mainly personal pension transfers that we do. We are regulated for occupational schemes, but in general terms we don't come across them, we don't touch them.
Okay. So tell me, what's your average case size for a pension transfer?
It varies on the advisors within the business. We have Kevin and myself, who are the principals of the company, and our average ticket value would be about 100,000 transfer value. Whereas we have other advisors in the business who will look after smaller cases that can start from around £25,000–30,000.
Right. Okay. And over the years, have you seen that side of your business increase, or what's been the opportunity? Pension transfer? Yeah,
definitely. When we first joined the Advisor Breakthrough Programme and started to work with Paul, we were, I suppose, probably a general practice. We did a lot of life cover. Yes, we did quite a bit of pension business just because of the clients we dealt with, but it's become more focused to pension business over the last 5 years.
Right. Okay. So, and looking ahead, what do you see as the opportunity moving 2010 onwards? You see it as a progressive market for you to be working in?
Absolutely. I mean, the whole thing that we've worked on is getting funds under management over the last 5 years, and the aim is to get up to 100 million under management within the next 2 to 3 years.
Right. That's quite a substantial goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. And is that most of that? Do you tend to use a particular platform, or what's your preferred way of doing that?
It's sort of changed over the years. We've got the smaller cases. Anything under 100,000 at the moment will be with Scandia, and we use the platform there. Anything larger than that will tend to be SIP-based or SAS-based, and we will use discretionary third-party fund managers. But we're in the process of reviewing that at the moment. Okay,
very good, very good. I'm aware that you use the pension performance review software to help you, sort of deal with the administration, indeed produce the reports and everything for your pension transfer work. What actually brought you into using that? What was it that motivated you to use that system?
Having a repeatable process was the simple answer to that. We wanted something that protected our backside from the regulator, was salesy enough to the client, so it looked pretty pictures, I suppose, is the best way as a salesperson we would use that for. And that was a repeatable process. We could put the information through, the process ran through, and we could present it in a format the same way every time to the client.
Fabulous, fabulous. What did you? Because you've used that for quite a few years now, I understand.
Yeah, it's got to be. Well, we're one of the first users, I think, so it's got to be four or 5 years old now.
Right. Okay.
And we've used it from the start. Okay. So seen all the developments of it.
So prior to that, Paul, what were you actually using prior to taking out the pension performance review?
It was all bespoke reports. Everything was an individual report, which took a long time and a lot of research. And I think the risk was there. The regulator would look at them and say, "Well, you haven't added this in. You haven't put this bit in on certain cases." So.
Right, okay. So you decided to take that on board. One of the most common or systems that's used out there at the moment is O&M, Pension Profiler, or Selected Pension. Have you come across those yourself?
Yeah, we looked at O&M. At the same time we took out the Pension Performance Review, and I didn't like it personally. It wasn't for me.
Okay, any particular?
I don't think it ticked all the boxes from a compliance point of view. And also I don't think it was salesy enough. I think it was too technical.
Right, okay. So, as you said, the pension performance review gives you a more salesy, more...
It's simple for the client to understand.
Right.
Everything's in a simple logical order, and there's coloured charts. It just makes sense to the client. It's very easy for them to follow. Yes, it's a big thick report, but as I'm sure all salespeople will understand, you just pick the parts that are relevant to the client.
Very good. Okay, that's good. And now, who actually does this work, produces the reports for you? Who actually administers, puts it all into the system? What is your process, if you like?
Effectively, we've got our PAs will gather all the information, and they have a sheet that they have to complete and forward that information on to Lisa, who will produce the report then via the pension performance review.
Right. And typically, how many cases might you do a month through the system?
It'll vary. I wouldn't like to say how many we do a month, but we've got on the Scandia platform 320 odd clients on there,
right,
which we've accumulated probably over the last 4 years.
Okay, so that's 320 clients on the Scandia system
that have gone through this pension performance review.
Wow, that's a significant amount.
Yeah.
So a typical case, how long would that actually take, do you think, from start to finish to actually...
From gathering the information or from just doing the report?
Well, I guess from gathering the information, how long would that take to do, gathering all the information?
Gathering the information is probably the longest part of it, because you're dealing with insurance companies and, to be frank, they're incompetent most of the time. So gathering the information can take anything up to 8 weeks.
Right.
Once we've got all the information, for Lisa to knock a report up, I would say an hour to an hour and a half.
So the inputting of all the information to produce the set of reports, an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's really good. Because one of the points that's been raised by some is that it could take quite a long time to produce the reports. What would you be saying to them?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that. I know I've had discussions with Paul and fed back to him that Lisa feels she could knock 6 or 7 reports out in a day.
Okay.
And he's gone back to speak to Derek saying, why aren't you knocking that many out? And it's just different cases. Lisa uses it all the time. She is very efficient on it.
Very good. Okay. So currently, if somebody is thinking about introducing the pension performance review process to them, what would you be saying to them if they were sort of thinking about, well, shouldn't I?
I would say in the current regulatory system that we're in, it would be essential, because we've had the FSA into the offices here to look at what we do as a review, and one of the things they picked on was the pension performance review, and they had no problem with it. They looked at the early reports right the way through the various different versions to the current report, and they said they're glad the way it's developed. If we still had the original report in place today, that wouldn't suffice, but the new version, they're more than happy with it. It ticks all the boxes.
Fabulous, fabulous. When you say it ticks all the boxes, was there anything particular that came out with that you really felt the pension performance review sorted? Was there anything in particular?
No, it's just the overall package. For me, it's the complete package to present to a client.
Okay.
As well as cover our backside.
Right. Has there been a case, Paul, whereby having a pension performance review process you felt helped you get a case compared to if you didn't have something like that, where you might have lost it?
Yeah, I think we've been able to do volume is the simple answer. It's quicker, it's easier. We've been able to take smaller clients on, bigger clients on, without having to do anything different for each client.
Very good.
So in simple terms, I think, yes, it's increased our business because we have a bespoke process that we follow all the way through from start to finish now.
That's excellent. I'm really pleased to hear that it's helping you and the way that you do your business. Have you got any final suggestions or words of advice to any other entrepreneurial advisors like yourself who are looking to use this system?
All I would say is it's worked for us. We put the work in at the start. Lisa learnt the system. She put a lot of time in learning that system, and I think you have to. It's like anything. If you put the time in, you'll get the results out. I know people say it's long-winded, or it could be long-winded. We don't find it that.
Very good. Very good. Paul, thank you very much indeed for telling us a little bit about the system today.
Pleasure.
I wish you continued success.
Thank you.